With everything going on in the world right now, and with all of us being, well, stuck at home or wherever you're stuck at, I think that a lot of our life plans in general have changed due to this. And especially for the people who are kind of like a travel addict like me, I think that this is really not a favorable situation. I don't know where was the last time when I was actually staying at one place for so long. I think the last time I didn't travel in a month was when I was still in school, and that was ages ago. Other than that, I always try to go somewhere every month just to fulfill my life, I guess. And whether it was a proper trip with a plane going to another country, or even just a small trip going, let's say, up north, which can sometimes take much longer than flying somewhere, as I figured out. Anyway, before the lockdown happened, my last plan was to go to Porto with my friends. It was actually for my friend's birthday. But due to this situation, unfortunately, I wasn't able to go. Some of them went because we weren't all traveling on the same dates, but I was going a bit later and coming back a little later as well. So I decided maybe it's smarter to stay at home, and I think that considering that Portugal closed down the day I was supposed to come back, I don't think it was a bad decision. But I lost this trip, and of course, firstly I was incredibly disappointed and upset about it, but it was also the last thing I had planned. So compared to the other years, I actually didn't have any other trips planned in advance. I was really just going by whatever happens next month, that's what I'm gonna do, which is good. Not just because we are not able to go anywhere right now, but mostly I was thinking, if this was happen a year or two ago, that would be an absolute disaster for me. Just the other day, my friend shared this memory on social media, which reminded me that exactly a year ago, on this day, I was actually staying in this beautiful castle, I knew the name, but I kind of forgot it. And it's located at... yeah, I forgot that as well. Anyway, it's this place in Germany, close to Frankfurt basically, where you have the whole region of beautiful castles next to the River Rhine. And it was such a wonderful experience. I've never stayed in castle before. I was involved in a very interesting activity organized by Dresden Legion, and we were doing role-playing and basically planning a bigger LARP that's going to happen somewhere else eventually, I suppose, which was absolutely new to me. I got to see this whole fairyland, and that's one of the things I would miss if this whole situation happened last year. But that's not the only one. Before going to Germany, I was actually in Moldova for the first time in my life. And ever since, when people ask me where would you recommend me to travel, I pretty much always say Moldova. Why? It's the least visited country in Europe, but thanks to that, it's also incredibly affordable. I remember before going, my friend said, if you come here with £100, you'll feel like a king. And it was pretty much true. You can afford to go to wonderful restaurants, you can afford to stay at wonderful places, you can visit the attraction, and despite this standard that is much lower than what we're used to in UK, the country is still absolutely beautiful. There's so much to see, there's so much to experience. We went to like the largest winery in the world, or one of the largest. We got to try all this amazing wine. We got to see some very historical places. I think the most exciting part was going to Transnistria, which is kind of like the last remaining part of USSR. And that was an interesting experience that I would definitely not want to miss on. But before going to Moldova, my friend and I actually went to a very proper vacation in Malaysia. And this happened pretty much very spontaneously. My friend had some leftover of the days off she needed to use until the end of March. And firstly we were thinking of going to Thailand, but then long story short, we didn't purchase tickets in time, thanks to me. And then they got expensive and we kind of just left it. And then my friend was just like, I found these tickets to Malaysia. They basically cost the same as what Thailand would cost us a month ago. And that was it. A few hours later we booked the ticket. A few weeks later we went, and where we actually went, it wasn't Kuala Lumpur, because another friend of ours was there a couple of months ago, and he said like, well, of course it's other side of the world, but it's pretty much the same like London. It's a huge city, that's it. And what I really wanted was, you know, beach, something tropical, a really change of environment. And we decided to go to Kota Kinabalu, which is located in the island. And only when we were there for basically 2 days, if not more, I realized that the island it's located on is Borneo, the third biggest island in the world. And I didn't even know that. We've seen a completely new side of the world, we've seen a completely new country, we experienced completely new cultures. We try to do something exciting every day, so went to the tour, went to see something new, try something new. There was this amazing market located very close to where we were staying, where you could purchase like tropical fruits at very low prices, because that's what's growing there, of course, but the taste was amazing because, you know, it's authentic, it was grown there. It didn't spend 6 months months traveling to other side of the world to reach you while it wasn't even ripe properly. It was so beautiful. We were staying at this lovely hostel in the middle of the city with the view over the islands, over the sea. They had these amazing huge windows in the living room. It was just so much going on. And imagine this lockdown would happen a year ago. Well, I was actually following the story of my friend who went to Bali this year in the beginning of March, and then had quite troubles getting back. She had no problems while she was on Bali, but there were some complications coming back because the country closed the borders and the country closed the airport. Then they had to change the flight to another country, take a bus. It was a whole process, you know, it's kind of a nightmare. The thing I don't like about traveling is stressing of how you're gonna do something. Like, yeah, it could be an adventure, but not really. Maybe if you're backpacking because you're very, very like adaptable. But if you have bags, if you have all the luggage, no. So probably if our Malaysian trip would be happening this year, there's a chance we wouldn't go. And although I didn't get full refund for my trip to Porto, I basically lost maybe 50 pounds, but not going to Malaysia and not getting full refund, that would be a few hundreds. Which is a nice money, especially if you don't have a proper job like me. But going even further back to year 2018, well, in the beginning of May I traveled to Cyprus, and it was my first in a lifetime trip to Cyprus. And what I liked about it the most was definitely the start of the summer season. Cyprus is so much southern that it was so much warmer. It was quite a proper summer there already, especially if you compare it with UK, most likely. But what is happening? We were able to go to swim on 1st May. I remember exactly, it was the 1st of May. I've never went swimming on 1st of May. Well, yes, of course, I went last year in Malaysia. Surprisingly, the sea wasn't as warm as I expected it to be in Malaysia because it's kind of tropical country. Come on, it was supposed to be warm. But in Cyprus, as I expected it to be cold, it was very, very pleasant actually. And again, I had a wonderful trip. I also made some amazing friends that are still my friends. I'm not gonna say for life because that's way too much, but since I usually am not really able to keep anybody in my life for more than 2 months, and I still am in contact with these people, I just think that's a really valuable experience for me. Before Cyprus, I was actually at home with my parents, and my dad took me skiing. It happened the same last year actually. I went home after Germany and we went skiing as well, and in 2018 also, and maybe that's what I would do this April if situation wouldn't be as it is, because we have some amazing high mountains where you can still go skiing in April. And my favorite part about it is still enough snow. Okay, the sad thing is you cannot ski after like 3-4 because the snow starts melting, but it's nice, it's warm, you're not freezing, your hands are not freezing, you are very relaxed, you don't have to go crazy moves and put so much effort because you're still feeling warm, even if you're just very gently doing your thing. And that's what I really love about going skiing at the end of the season. But before going home in 2018, I had a trip of a lifetime, and to this day I refer to it as the best holidays I ever had. And I just told you I've been to Malaysia and I've been to some other incredible places, but you know, that was just the full package of, I'm not gonna say feeling home, but feeling exactly where you should be in your life at the moment. That's it, you know. And that was my trip to Gaziantep. So 2 years ago, on this day, I was in Gaziantep. I actually went there on some sort of a business exchange, but what was truly happening is the experience they gave us was much more than that. Yes, we did work around business and it was actually very valuable. We went to like Chamber of Commerce, we went to see small local businesses, we were encouraged to prepare our own business plan and they helped us with that a lot. And some people who came there with a very strong ideas already really took the most out of it because they left with like a solid business plan and they can really work on it, and they actually created this support group that can help them with whatever they develop. But what else we did was just so much more. We went to see so many places, we went to experience so many things. This city is UNESCO City of Cuisine. We were eating 6 times a day. I'm a huge food lover. I honestly, when I came home and I walked through the door and they asked me how was it, I replied with the best holidays of my life. We were eating 6 times a day. But I also got to meet so many people that were really such amazing inspirations to my life. And I feel that this was really of a value that's gonna last me a lifetime. And to this day, I'm regularly thinking of it. And the other day I just discovered this folder of old pictures, of old footage from the city, and it blew my mind. And when I was going through it, what I truly remembered was this feeling I had being there, was this feeling of basically pure happiness, of really living in the moment. It was so much of precious moments for me that I actually never properly documented this experience. Like, I took videos and photos when I was there, but I never really turned it into a vlog or blog or anything that I was doing with all my other trips at the time, because I just felt there's so much of basically feelings that it's very hard to just put it down and turn it into a little footage or little I don't know, a story that it won't do it justice. But since I stumbled upon this lately and I cannot get it out of my head, as I said already, I might do it through my reminisce purpose, just to remind me of what it all was. And taking that in account, it would really be a journey down memory lane. Just thinking about it, if this whole situation would happen 2 years ago, well, I wouldn't be that much upset, because to be honest, I wasn't so eager to go to Gaziantep at that moment. I've been to Turkey a month before, and I just came from another trip to Poland, which happened very unexpectedly, and I kind of just wanted to stay home and relax and do nothing. And when I was going there, I was like, I had zero expectations, I had zero, hopes. I didn't feel so eager about it. So if before I went it would be cancelled, I would be like, it happens. But after knowing what it gave me, I can't imagine my life today without that experience. I can't imagine my life without people I mattered, without the value they gave me, without everything else that happened afterwards. that came from that experience. Like, I even met my twin, basically. A girl who has birthday on the same day as me and lives in London, and then we celebrated our birthdays together and things like that, you know. All of this just reminds me, and perhaps all of us, that yes, the situation we are in right now is pretty terrible and it cost us all a lot, but since we can't do anything about it, maybe we should be really grateful for everything else that we have and everything else we already had to experience. And as long as you have a nice place to stay and someone who brings you food, because I honestly haven't been out for probably 3 weeks now, I think we're pretty good for now and we can get through it. So yeah, stay positive and healthy.